What is retirement?
And I've caught up to a bull moose who's leading the way.
Can I recommend that part on people?
I couldn't make it any further.
What my question is where do I go from here?
So this is the trail that started my hiking adventure this summer. I think it was 2, maybe 3 months ago. But I just decided, you know what, I want to see how far I can hike up Timpanogos. And I got up about 2/3, could not go any further. But my mind has been set on the Timpanogos summit ever since. And I'm in a lot better shape now. So here we go.
Here's a question for you. What is retirement? Right? We look forward to this date or this accomplishment with such excitement, such hope and anticipation. All right? We get to quit our job. We don't have to do this thing anymore. Finally, we're free. Finally, we have enough money that we don't have to work for it. And we get to vacation. We get to go to beaches and relax in hammocks. And we get to have time for our family. We get to do all the things that we want to do. This is a concept that I've talked about before and that I think about a lot now because I'm kind of in a mostly retired position right now. I've pulled back from work. Some weeks I've only put in 5 to 10 hours of work. And why do I keep working? I like it. I'm creating. Would I ever want to stop what I'm doing? No. And so it's kind of a foreign concept, but yet I can understand where most people come from because they don't have the freedom that I have. They haven't created their own company by their design, by their choice. They work for somebody else. They have a job. And I respect that. I have a lot of people on my team that work for me. And so I have a tremendous amount of respect for that. And it's like, I guess from their perspective, one day they hope to not have to work for me, or they hope to not have to have a job. I just think so much about the value of entrepreneurship and being able to create, but also the struggle of entrepreneurship. Man, the 8.5 years in this company, and then the 6 years prior to that of me as a struggling entrepreneur to try and figure it out, and just being overwhelmed with debt and financial stress and trying to get by, and people criticizing me for not getting a job. Yeah, can I recommend that part on people? I don't know that I can. I'm glad that I went through it because of the perspective I have, because of the wisdom that I have. I'm 43 right now, and I have the freedom of choice and the freedom of retirement. So it's just bringing up a lot of reason for me to reflect and ask myself, what is retirement? What does that mean for me? What do I want for my future? What does it mean for my company that is doing very well right now? And without judgment, I'd love to hear from you. Like, what does retirement mean to you? Why do you value it so much? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm definitely doing better than my first attempt. I haven't needed to rest. I'm booking it along. I would estimate I'm about halfway up. I think so, about halfway. This place is just gorgeous. And I've caught up to a bull moose who's leading the way.
You might think I'm crazy, but I feel like it's easy now. Not easy, it's still hard, but it's now that I've done it a few times, it's like, all right, this is a muscle.
Yeah, you do build up an endurance, and it's cool once clients get several months in to doing that, and it is good to hear you say that too. We're starting to get that traction that we want, and we don't want to rock the boat.
Love it. No, that's why I called you.
Yeah.
Give it the logic.
Now that we're past the 4-month mark, the data in the analytics becomes easier over time. It just becomes easier and easier to interpret and to find opportunities.
Okay, this is the turnaround point where I had to turn around. I couldn't make it any further just a couple months ago. That is the summit. I think I've got about 90 minutes from this point. So just keep heading up that way, get up to the saddle, I believe. It's been 20 years since I've done this, but then go across the ridgeline all the way to the summit of Mount Timpanogos.
Got a question for you. How much money does it take, or income, to be considered successful? So, a dollar amount per year. Does it mean 50,000 a year? Does it mean 100,000 a year? Does it mean 500,000 a year? $1 million a year? 10 million a year? At what point does that mean success? See, I've been chasing success for all of my adult life, and some of the numbers that I had defined as success, I've actually hit them, and in some ways I don't feel successful. I feel like there's a lot that I still need to accomplish. I feel like the brakes that I've been putting on to pull back, because I don't need to keep working all the time, and I don't need to feel this overwhelm. That purpose-driven feeling inside of me is still there, telling me to move forward. And yet, wow, I've achieved great success so far. What I'm trying to figure out is what's driving the success. I know that a lot of my ambitions, a lot of my passions, all of them, I'll say, are gifts from God. God gave me these gifts and these attributes. What my question is where do I go from here?
There's not much left of Emerald Lake. That's where the glacier normally is. It's really cool to look down at all those mountains. So I have to stop and just take a look at these rocks. Pretty cool how there's all this white rock with black pieces just all over. Okay, clear down there is where I started. You can see some of the trails that I came across. Came up this way, and I've just come around this part. Beautiful view, obviously, but the end is in sight. Right there, that's where I'm going. Put my finger further out, right there. But man, this is a very steep finish.
Today, I'm filming in a tunnel, and this place is really cool. I mean, it's got a lot of character, and I'm really excited to tell you a little bit more about why I'm filming here. You can hear the echo, and maybe that'll give you a little clue as to how and why I'm filming in this tunnel.
Okay, as I've been hiking here, I'm wondering, that might be Grove Creek Canyon that I hiked up came across and then went down Battle Creek Canyon there. That was that 8-mile loop that I did a couple weeks back. I'm thinking that's it. Right there, let's see if I can point to it. Right there at the tip of my finger is the Timpanogos Temple. So anyway, got a bit to go. It's really steep. Okay, it's been really hard the last while. All right, I did it. Man, my legs are extremely sore. That last climb, long climb, because it was slow, painful. I need to sit down. I'm gonna enjoy this up here. I had to find a comfortable rock so I could raise my feet for a while. Just chilling, enjoying the view. Man, I didn't expect actually to be this sore. And I got 7 miles on the way back down.